Hello and welcome to our 2020 iFarmiVote video series. Today I'm joined by Angela Stanton-King, Georgia's 5th Congressional District candidate, Republican candidate. Welcome, Ms. Stanton-King. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Katie, for having me on the show. It's an honor to be here.
We're glad that you're here. Before we kick off, I want to remind our audience that this is a nonpartisan organization, and as a nonpartisan organization, Georgia Farm Bureau cannot and will not endorse candidates or tell our members how to vote. Instead, our hope is that this video series, paired with additional resources on our iFarmiVote website, will serve as a valuable resource for our members and the greater ag community in the state, and will allow for them to make informed decisions as they head to the polls this fall. This video series will feature our congressional candidates, and we've made the same opportunity available to each and every individual pursuing office in those 14 races. Ms. Stanton-King, thank you again for taking the time out of your day and your busy schedule to join us and allowing us to get to know you a little bit better. Let's get started.
Thank you so much.
First off, let's get to know you a little bit. Could you tell me about you, where you're from, your education, that sort of thing?
Well, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, but I was back and forth in Atlanta, Georgia my entire life. My mother and my grandmother, they lived here, so I would go to New York and visit my dad, and then I come back here in the summers, and I've been here permanently ever since I was 15 years old. My background in education is a bachelor's in psychology. I'm in the class of 2020, woohoo! I only have 2 more months to go. Other than that, for the last 15 years, I've worked as a public servant, a community organizer, a nonprofit community development from 2005 all the way up until this very day. I work with an organization not too far after my release from prison for a nonviolent crime in 2005, Charitable Connections. And since then, I was able to work with them and help to create nearly 500 nonprofit organizations throughout the state of Georgia. So I'm really excited about that, excited about all the work that I've done prior to ever even thinking about running for office. It has kind of always been my heart to help the people.
That's awesome. Well, you kind of segued into my next question. Is this your first time running for office, or have you held one in the past?
Never held office in the past. This is my first time running. I didn't have any plans on running, but I saw where I was a little bit of a different candidate, and I thought that I could be of service to the people by using my past experiences, the education that I've garnered over the years, and just try to bring some balance to Congress. I mean, things are kind of crazy, and I think that we are all on a hoping for change.
Very good. Well, thank you for sharing that. We're going to move into some ag questions now. As the state's largest and strongest voluntary ag organization, Georgia Farm Bureau was founded back in 1937 to be a voice for our farmers in the legislative arena, both in DC and in Atlanta. That being said, ag is our nation's lifeblood, our organization's lifeblood, and the livelihood of many of our members. So first off, what do you think are the 3 greatest issues that are currently facing ag in Georgia today?
Well, there's a huge issue when it comes to Georgia farmers and what we're going through. But thankfully for the president, they are making segue to make sure that all of the people that have been affected by the tariffs, that they'll be treated fairly. So you know that the president, he reached a new trade agreement with Japan. And as a result, Japan will eliminate or reduce tariffs on approximately 7.2 billion in U.S. agricultural exports. So things like that the president has done, you know, he continues to stand up to China and their unfair trade practices, which target our farmers. And the way that the president and this administration is moving forward, we're definitely headed to see better light at the end of the tunnel.
Very good. What's a passion project that you either currently have or could see having in the future that could have an impact on the state and rural Georgia, as well as just Georgia agriculture in general?
Bees. Bees are a big thing, and I know a lot of people are looking into that right now, but I think that getting the state of Georgia more active in beekeeping, I think that that's definitely something that's at the top of my list.
Awesome. If elected, what will you do? I know you're kind of in an urban district, but what will you do to improve rural access to amenities such as healthcare, government services, business opportunities, education, that sort of thing?
Well, one of the things that I plan to do is utilize the relationships that I've created with this current administration to push and advocate for those things on behalf of the 5th District. It's very important for me as a member of Congress to meet with my constituents, for us to sit down and discuss, hey, what is it exactly that you need? How can I be of better service to you? Getting active, hearing directly from the people in the community, coming up with resolution, taking it back to this current administration, seeing if we can get something done on behalf of the people.
Very good. Before I let you go, we're going to do a couple fun ag-related questions for our audience. First of all, what is your favorite Georgia-grown commodity?
Oh, man. I got to say the Georgia peach.
That's a good answer.
I'm a Georgia peach myself, so.
I actually had a peach sitting here to be used as a prop in my interviews, and I was sitting here yesterday and smelled something funny, and it was rotting, so I had to get rid of it. But good answer. That's a good answer. We're fortunate to have an abundance of Georgia-grown commodities, like you mentioned, the Georgia peach, blueberries. We've got all sorts of different peanuts, exactly, cotton. We've got all sorts of different commodities in our state from north to south. But speaking of those commodities, one last question for you. Do you pronounce it pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
Pecan. You know what? Every single person I've talked to.
People pronounce it pecan. I guess it's where you're from, but for me, it's pecan.
Everyone said it the same way. I grew up calling it a pecan, but I am definitely in the minority from what I've learned. So,
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you joining us again today and taking the time to visit with us and let our members get to know you a little bit better. The iFarmiVote initiative goes beyond our Georgia's active farmers and rural citizens. You know, like I mentioned, you're in an urban district, but the iFarmiVote initiative has the opportunity to reach your constituents as well, because each and every citizen of the state is impacted by agriculture, which is our state's #1 industry. So thank you again for taking the time and understanding the importance of Georgia ag and discussing it with me today. And best of luck with the rest of your campaign.
Thank you so much, Katie. I really enjoyed talking with you today.